Have you ever outsmarted someone who thought they had all the power? I moved into what seemed like the perfect neighborhood after years of saving up as a lawyer. Nice houses, quiet streets, everything I wanted after living in tiny apartments for so long. But within 2 weeks, I knew I'd made a huge mistake because of one person, Helen Dunley, the HOA president. The first fine came 3 days after I moved in, $25 because I left my trash bins out too long. I checked the bylaws. There was no specific time limit mentioned anywhere. When I called to contest it, Helen's voice dripped with fake sweetness. "Oh, honey, that's just how we do things here. Some rules aren't written down." The next week, it was $50 for non-compliant mailbox paint. My mailbox was the exact same beige as every other house on the block. When I pointed this out at the next HOA meeting, Helen cut me off mid-sentence. "You clearly don't understand how our community works," she said with this smug little smile. "Maybe you'd be more comfortable somewhere else." Half the room actually laughed. I sat there quiet, but inside I was taking notes. Then came the $100 fine because my dog supposedly barked for over 5 minutes on a Sunday morning. My dog is a lazy golden retriever who barely makes noise when someone's at the door. But when I looked around the neighborhood, I noticed something interesting. Mrs. Chen next door had a yapping chihuahua that went off every morning at 6. No fine. Mr. Williams 3 houses down left his trash out until Tuesday every week. No fine. I was being targeted, and Helen was loving every minute of it. What Helen didn't know was that I specialized in contract law. And after that meeting where she humiliated me, I decided to do what I do best, read the fine print. I spent the next month going through every single HOA document with a magnifying glass. The original bylaws, every amendment, state regulations about HOA governance, even the old board meeting minutes that were gathering dust in the community center. What I found made my jaw drop. Helen had been running this HOA like her personal kingdom for 3 years. She'd pushed through all sorts of rules that had never been voted on by the board. She hadn't submitted required annual budgets to the state in 2 years. And here's the kicker. She'd been hiring her cousin's landscaping company for the common areas at triple the going rate, with no competitive bidding and no board approval. That was fraud, plain and simple. I compiled everything into a 30-page document, complete with legal citations and state statute references. Then I sent a copy to every single board member via certified mail. I also posted a simplified breakdown on the neighborhood online forum, explaining in plain English how Helen had been violating state law and potentially stealing from all of us. The final touch was sending everything to the state HOA Oversight Authority with a formal complaint. Helen called me that same night screaming about lawsuits and defamation. I let her finish her rant, then calmly told her I'd be happy to discuss her concerns with her attorney. I also mentioned that I'd be filing counterclaims for harassment and would be requesting a full audit of HOA finances. The emergency board meeting happened 3 days later. Helen tried to control it like always, but the other board members had done their homework. They'd verified everything in my report. One by one, they asked her to explain the illegal fees, the missing budgets, the no-bid contracts. Helen's face went from red to purple as she realized she was cornered. She tried to blame me, saying I was just a troublemaker who didn't respect community standards. That's when board member Janet Martinez pulled out her phone and started reading from the state HOA website about the penalties for financial mismanagement. By the end of that meeting, Helen was out, completely removed from the board. She tried threatening everyone with lawsuits on her way out the door, but her bluffs didn't work anymore. 2 weeks later, the new board not only rescinded every single one of my fines, but they also sent refund checks to 3 other neighbors who'd been getting the same treatment.